Hello YouTube. I just wanted to share with you these strawberry runners that I've done from the plants from last year, and just to show you what the difference is with the different ways that I've cultivated these. These are all runners from the plants. They're first early, and when they set out runners, I let some of them just get on with it. And as you can see here, I have potted some up, and that is the umbilical cord, and you can see where I put a pin in there to hold it in place, if I can get that pin out, and that just holds it in the soil, in the compost. And these ones here are ones that I've just let grow in the bark that I've got in the paths, and you can see the root system on them. They've just self-set themselves in the paths, and you can see that they've grown through the bark, and they're a good healthy plant, and that's quite a root system. And I'm going to pot these on up into small hanging baskets and put these in the polytunnel and hang them in the polytunnel. I have got some in tubs which are on the ground in the polytunnel. They're also first earlies, and I just want to see what the difference is and whether or not I can manage to keep them watered. But that's you can see the bark. I shall get as much bark out of them as I can, and if I can I'll just bring you back. I'll just take this one out of the pot, and then you can see the root system on this one. Well, that is the root system with the one in the pot. It's quite root bound, that is. I will try and tease all these roots out as best I can, but it makes you wonder if it's worth trying to pot some of these up or not, just letting them grow in the bark like that. All the roots are nice and free on those, whereas they're quite constricted on these. I will put a mark on the pot and see if there's any difference on how they get on when I put them in the hanging basket. All as I've got is some multi-purpose compost with a little bit of fish blood and bone. I've got one there soaking in a bucket of water, and a bit of blood, fish and bone, and a little bit of charge, which is beetle poo or mealworm poo, one or the other, or both, I'm not sure which. And I watered them from the bottom, but I will give them just a bit of water on the top, and then I'll bring you back and show you them hanging in the polytunnel. I am also just giving the roots a dusting of mycorrhizal fungi as well, and if you do use mycorrhizal fungi, only water with rainwater or water from the tap which is stood for 24 hours, because I believe the chloride and the additives in tap water kills the mycorrhizal fungi. So I'll pot these last few up, and I will bring you back and show you what they're like in the polytunnel. Now, I thought I ought to just show you where these strawberry plants have come from. This bed is my earlies, and I'm pretty sure the variety is called Vibrant. And if you can keep them warm, you'll get a second crop off these, an early crop and a later crop. Now, I have had strawberries on them later on, but they didn't ripen. It was the weather wasn't good enough. So my idea is, in the polytunnel, hopefully I'll get 2 crops off them. But like I say, this is the 3rd year for this bed, so I will take in this bed out. You don't really want your strawberries to go any longer than 3 years. And this is where all my runners came from. And this is a second early. This bed's been in here 3 years as well. This will be its 3rd year, so I'm going to take that one out. That's the second early, and that's been there 1 year, be its second, so I'll leave that one in. But if I can just show you how these runners root themselves into the bark, you can see there how well they do in the bark like that. So I might just leave these rather than putting them into pots, because I think that's a better plant. and as you can see they're all the way around here. So I'm going to take some runners off these, the second earlies, and I'll start a new bed with them. Some people use new runners every year and don't save their strawberry plants, they just take the runners off and use them. So I'll keep this bed going here, and I'll have a new bed possibly over there. I've got some there which are earlies that I'm going to do, and I'll see the difference then between the 2-year-old bed and new runners and see what the difference is. So the strawberry plants are now in their final resting place. There's half a dozen, 3 on each side, and I've spread them out from one end to the other and on each side so that I can see if there's any difference in the zones, because up there is north and to my right, your right is east and to my left is west. So there will be some difference in temperatures and also light conditions. I've got 2 which came out of pots, and I have marked them with a P to see if there's any difference in growth because they were a bit root bound. And I've got 1 with 2 plants in, which is up the top end here. One's only a small one, but there is 2 plants in that one. And then I've got one pot with 3 in, just to see if these pots will take them. You can see they're not that big a pot, but they hang nicely in here, and hopefully they'll be out of the way of my head there. I won't keep banging my head on them. And just down the sides you can see I've got another 6 pots, and they've been in the polytunnel about 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks. I brought them in from outside. All the strawberry plants have been outside all winter, and I brought these in so hopefully you get an early crop, and you can see that they're definitely growing away, and they're in florist buckets, and they're all in singles. So we'll see what the difference is between all the different ways of growing, and then work out what's best. And one thing is that the ones in the hanging baskets, they shouldn't get the slugs, because the ones outside, we always seem to get a bit of slug damage, and also if the mice find them, they also love strawberries. So many thanks for taking the time to watch and comment. Your comments are lovely. Just one other thing I wanted to pick up on in the polytunnel. As you can see, I've got all my sticky pads out, and it's only the beginning of March and it's still cold, but they're working. And in fact, it's surprising how much they have caught. So don't think there's still plenty of time. I would get these things out. These have only been up about 10 days. And if you look at the debris on them already, it's quite a lot. So prevention's better than cure. In your greenhouse and in your polytunnels, get those sticky traps up, because they're definitely going to be catching something. So if you like what you see, please subscribe. I noticed that I think it's 48% of people that watch my videos are not subscribed. So if you'd like to follow what I'm doing throughout the season and hopefully learn something, even if you learn that that's not the way for you, at least you've learned something. So yeah, please subscribe and hit the bell. Take good care, everybody. Bye bye.